Going forward, obviously it'll be legislation. I hope you guys, whatever you put together, I'll sponsor that. And then the second thing is, can we do an audit? What do we do moving forward? So that's just the profound frustration that I'm having over here.
Very good. Since that was a little bit more based on things not necessarily connected to this particular person providing testimony, I'll give you an extra minute. Representative Murphy had a question.
So from all the testimony that we've received, it seems like there's an unprecedented level of bullying going on in these polling places. Now, you're a new poll observer. You haven't done this before.
Not in previous years.
And to me, this is where part of the issue comes in. I believe we had a lot of new poll workers this year and a lot of new poll observers. And to me, it seems as if some of the people working in the polls have taken advantage of the inexperience of their workers and the people observing them. And I think, when you shine a light on the cockroaches, they scurry. Mm-hmm. And this is where we hear so many things about, well, this was done in this corner, and this was done behind this group of people. It's not transparent. It's not. And Representative Mako, you said that you were very frustrated and didn't know what to do. But I'm here to say right now that I would be more than willing to look at a vote to decertify the group of electors that we have right now. Thank you.
May I add a couple things that I kind of forgot?
Just do it.
There's, in the essence of time and everything, I have a lot more that I could tell you about, that be it someone that was held to great account in my work environment, is responsible for multi-million dollars. I have a lot that, in my viewpoint, would startle you. The things that I could go into in detail, which I won't hear for the essence of time. I'd be more than willing to do that. I did 3 notarized affidavits. I probably could have done 10.
Cindy, why don't you provide those to my office and I'll bring it to...
I have the 3 that I have provided. You have them.
Very good. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go on. We have 5 more people to testify yet today. Rick Boss is our next, appearing via Zoom.
I've lost the light today. Anyway, thanks for having me here. I have the privilege of being the vice chair of the vaunted Milwaukee County Election Commission. And first of all, I want to say that of all these complaints that I've heard here today, I didn't hear them at the actual recount. That would have been a good thing to do, seeing I was there the entire time. I do thank you for having me here. I assume it's because I'm on the commission, but it should be more importantly that I'm here because I'm a citizen. I'm going to give you a little bit of the background on why this is important to me. My parents, like a lot of other people back in the 60s, were involved in civil rights. They met on a picket line while they were working against education discrimination. They also worked against Wisconsin's unfair housing. And most importantly, as it relates to this conversation, they worked to preserve what we as Americans and Wisconsinites need to make sure that the Republic works, is to protect our votes. I remember as a small child going with my mother into the voting booth. I remember being taught that the vote wasn't a right. It was a sacred privilege and a responsibility that needed to be exercised. And it was those type of things that were in the forefront of my mind in September when I was asked to comment on a circuit court decision. It came down affirming that we would use Wisconsin law to run our elections. And I remember thinking that during all the COVID and the pandemic, how important it was that that was going to be the case, because everybody wants to understand that the election is going to be done fairly and it's going to be done by law, instead of like so many things during this pandemic where it's an ad hoc reactionary out of apprehension, fear, whatever it is. It's not the time when you're scared and when you're under fire to create new systems. And for whatever reason, as a nation, we allowed this to take place. And for whatever reason, the state of Wisconsin, through administrative auspices, allowed this to take place. The circuit court made the right decision. They did it because it was the positive thing to do for the state of Wisconsin. It was very democratic. It was a victory for the rule of law. And it was how people need to see things work. But a lot of things have changed since
From
September.
the bottom of the rabbit hole.
The systemic racism made evidence by food trucks showing up with New York license plates. I saw them going around giving out food primarily in minority areas, sponsored by billionaires from outside the state. The implication is that people in those areas somehow need some kind of incentive to exercise their American birthright.
Fucking difficult every week.
To me, it's the softest kind of annoying bigotry of low expectations. And it should be repugnant to everybody, regardless of party. And it is clearly voter manipulation. There are a lot of things that have been said here, and I'm, for the good of the order, I'm not going to repeat a bunch of them.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
But the practice of ballot harvesting, basically, this needs to end because it implies that people are too busy to exercise their hard-fought and hard-won franchise to show up on time and in person to actually vote. These things would make our forefathers and our founding fathers nuts. And I know people who were part of the civil rights leadership back in the 60s, and both groups would be absolutely appalled at the laziness by which we approach elections.
A few other shares.
We owe it to ourselves and the next generation to make this fundamental step in the republic, voting, safe. We owe it to everybody to make it count. The outcome of the election and the outcome of the recounts, I'm going to pause there for a moment. A lot of people expect a lot of things out of a recount.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
I need to make sure that people understand that
From the bottom of the rabbit hole.
the poison is in the pill already by the time it gets to the Milwaukee County Election Commission. If there is voter manipulation with food trucks, that already happened beforehand. If there is
People who like to watch
mass production of ballots, that happened before it showed up. Those things need to be systemically moved out of the way before there's a recount, because a recount is just going to do that. It's going to recount whatever mess is put in there.
Very important.
But when we do have a recount, all materials need to be available. We have partisan commissions and we're going to have split votes. Most people expect that there's signature matching in Wisconsin, and there's not. That's something this body can address. Citizens should be allowed to inspect the entire process.
Okay, so we're going to shut this guy down for a minute. Get him on a DuckDuckGo. We don't need to listen to that. But I want to talk to you guys about something very important. I have been hearing people talk for a length of time, a significant length of time, about a civil war. Okay? I want to be very clear with you. There is no potential outcome from the Supreme Court or from any of the falling out. China, yes, that is where I'm going with this. There is no potential outcome from anywhere, brutally honest, he knows, of a civil war. Okay? This video is entitled Know Your Enemy for a reason. Okay? Now, we all know about ideological subversion. I talk about it all the time. I did a whole presentation on this very show with Yuri Bezmenov. Instead of going into it today, go back and watch that episode. Come back and watch this one later. Or stick with us here for now and then go watch it for context. But a large part of the process of ideological subversion is convincing a group of people, or I should say manipulating a group of people, to not know who their enemy is. To convince them that their enemy is their friend and to trust their enemy and to fight against their friend. Okay? In this case, this ideological subversion, this communist subversion of this country, it make no mistake, it is coming from China. Okay? Now, I've heard shortly before I came on the air today, which inspired me to go in on this direction with this show, inspired me, I should say, not inquired me, to go in this direction because apparently there is intelligence out there that states that there was a plane that got shot down in our country, and as a response, we bombed 2 groups of Chinese soldiers in our country, killing 50,000 soldiers out of 750,000 soldiers. Because apparently, I'm finding out today, we have 750,000 Chinese soldiers in our country. Okay? So, if this happened, and I can play the video of the gentleman saying this, but he's telling you what I just told you. It's not like there's documents. The whole thing is the media is covering it up. You're not hearing anything. I've seen a report of an earthquake in Maine, which could be an explanation for the explosion. A 32,000-ton bomb we dropped, is what the intelligence states. And as far as the Michigan thing, I haven't heard anything. I also haven't looked, though. Again, this is new information. I'm just relaying it to you. I don't know if it's accurate or not. Feel free to do your own research. Feel free to look into it. What's up, Kevin? Kevin's in the house. What's going on, my man? But the point I'm trying to make here today is that this is not an example of a civil war. I have to make that unbelievably clear, okay? I can't stress that enough. I'm going to explain to you what is going to happen, okay? At least in general, how this is going to play out. And be aware of this. Look for the signs of this because this is how this is playing out. You can already see it now. The case is at the Supreme Court. I hurt my leg a while ago. This is old. This is from when I broke my ankle. It's also known as Crutchy McGee. But, so right now we have a case going to the Supreme Court, citing that the actions taken in 4 states, being Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, and Pennsylvania, they held unconstitutional general elections for President of the United States because they changed the laws of their election without going through the state legislature, which is part of the elections clause in the Constitution. This lawsuit is accurate, okay? So understand that what they are claiming is true beyond a shadow of a doubt. There doesn't have to be investigations. There doesn't have to be evidence. It's the facts. This is how they changed their laws. This is what the Constitution says. They are not together. What they did was unconstitutional. Okay, so that's what the lawsuit is stating is these states held unconstitutional elections for President of the United States. Okay, follow me here. So it's going to go to the Supreme Court. Unlike what Brutally Honest thinks, the Supreme Court is not going to dismiss this. They are going to rule in favor of Trump. Okay? Because that is what the Constitution says. It's not up for debate. You can't even manipulate the situation because it's not about voter fraud. It's not about voter fraud. It's about fraudulent elections. It's about elections held outside of the rule and the agreement set forth in the Constitution between all the states. Okay? We as all the states operate independently, with the Constitution being the agreement that we've all made as states that we all agree to abide by. When you're holding elections to elect officials that govern all 50 states, but you don't abide by the agreement that the states had agreed to in the Constitution, that is unconstitutional. So it's not up for debate whether or not the lawsuit is legally binding and accurate, and it's going to end up being ruled for Trump. Okay? People are going to get mad when you don't know what to do, so you start making up laws. Yeah, making up laws. That's what they're doing, exactly. Because they were like, oh, there's a pandemic. We're just changing shit, and it's not reality. So what's going to happen is they're going to rule in favor of Trump. Then there's going to be violence. But what's going to happen is China, as a country, just like we have done in so many wars in the past, sent our troops into other countries having civil wars or revolutions against their tyrannical governments, and we help one side defeat the other side, China is going to attempt to do that to us. Okay? And the reason why I say there is no civil war and that this is entitled Know Your Enemy is because the only people who are going to be fighting on the side of China in the war versus China and the United States of America are the Americans who have been brainwashed, aka ideologically subverted. Okay? Because they are going to believe that they are fighting against their own government for some strange reason, and China is coming here to help them. So they are going to be mistakenly destroying their own country on behalf of China because this has been being framed as a civil war. That's why they've been talking about civil war, civil war. And in my head, I'm saying to myself, civil war, yeah, okay, yeah, well, conservatives and the liberals, their problems and all this other stuff. No, it's not a fucking civil war. Evidence of what? Do you want to look at the Constitution? Is that what you're asking for, brutally honest? If you want, we will go look at the Constitution and we will read the Constitution and then we will read where these states passed these laws concerning mail-in balloting and election process that were not passed by their state legislator. So I don't know what you're referencing here. I don't know what evidence you're asking for. Yeah, of course you don't want to read the Constitution because then you'd realize that you've been talking nonsense. But we can do that if anybody has any serious disputes about that. But again, I encourage you all to go look at that for yourself because the lawsuit is very clear. You can find the Texas lawsuit on the Supreme Court website, and then you can reference the Constitution yourself. How is China going to help us give up America? No, wrong. You are going to fight on the side of China because they have you brainwashed. When a war comes, they're going to have you convinced that China's coming here to help you to fight against evil Americans, these evil conservatives. That's what's going to happen. That's your problem here, okay? That's why you don't get it. You're the brainwashed person that I'm talking about that doesn't understand, that thinks that this is a civil war, and it's not a civil war. This is a war with the United States and China. This is already going on. Happy Friday, you sexy beast. Look at Josh. I wish I had you on here. You could pull out some titties for me. I'd grab them virtually. Give the nipple a little bit of that. But this is a serious issue, and we all need to understand that China, without question, is not only an enemy to the United States, but they are really the country we need to be taking the most seriously of all countries on the planet. This is without question. Okay? Bobby G, liking the stream. Thank you, my friend. China is trying to take out the United States. I have personally seen video that when translated correctly, not through the state-run translations, but when actually translated from someone who's really telling you what the guy is saying, I believe it's the president of China, I want to say it's Xi or whatever his name is, has come out and said, and I quote to the best of my ability, I'm paraphrasing that since I don't have the exact quote. We are working towards a new world order where China is the superpower and the United States is like lost or weak or destroyed or something of that nature. The United States is not even registered. The China's the superpower and we've overtaken the United States. They've been saying this. They're telling their people this. On top of the video that we've all seen over the past week where the guy in China talks about Biden and his ties to China and how China has influence in the American government because of compromising politicians, which is why inevitably that once the Supreme Court rules in favor of Trump, then we're going to enact martial law. We're going to round these people up. There's going to be tribunals. There's going to be perp walks. There's going to be people who sold our country out to China. And that's what we're going to try to wake the people of America up and be like, hey, we're already doing that now. We're already showing them how corrupt this system is. You know, when you have an FBI that can send 15 people out to investigate a rope at a NASCAR event that was a drawstring to open a garage that someone said was a noose, but they have Hunter Biden's laptop with emails about his dad talking to Chinese authorities and they do nothing. So, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And you need to understand this is not a civil war. Don't refer to it as a civil war. It's not going to be a civil war. It never was a civil war. There is no civil war, okay? It's not a thing. It is a manipulation of reality, okay? This war is going to be a civil war as much as the Patriot Act was about defending America, okay? And we all know it's not. We all know the Patriot Act was about taking away our freedoms, okay? And it's same thing with the Civil War. This is not a civil war at all. It's not going to be civil, and it's not being fought between Americans versus Americans. It's going to be fought between the United States and China, and the Chinese allies are going to be any Americans that are stupid enough to believe the subversion that's been going on, and brutally honest. It's going to be the conservatives that are going to riot. You're so far off from reality. You genuinely have no idea. If the conservatives riot, then first of all, Trump already has the military. He will enact martial law. Okay, he will utilize the executive order that was signed in September in 2018 about foreign interference in the election. And again, he will keep the White House either way. There's a 0% chance that Trump is just going to hand the White House over to China. 0% chance. Because that's what's happening here. That's what's actually happening. The results of our election have been subverted. The will of we the people have been subverted. There has been a manipulation. The media has been complicit in trying to convince America that Joe Biden won the election in early November. And that's not the case scenario. And they're doing so because it's the will of China. Okay? So understand this. When you see violence, when there is violence, not even when, because for all we know, this could happen completely under our noses. This could go completely differently, but I'll tell you what way it won't go, and that's a civil war, because there's no such thing. There's no outcome where conservatives and progressives have a war in the street with guns. It's not going to happen, okay? If anything, it would be conservatives defending the country versus China along with the military, okay? Understand that, because that is a foreign threat, and obviously the people who sign up for the military are not corrupted in large. It's easy to corrupt the media because you only have to target 30, 40, 50 people. It's easy to corrupt politicians. You have to get a few hundred people. But when you're talking about the military, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in the military, I have no idea how big our military is, but I'm assuming it's probably, if China has 750,000 troops here, I'm assuming it's over 1 million, well over. Trump won't have the military on January 20th. Yes, he will. You keep saying this. You keep saying this like somehow you have some sort of information that nobody else has. If you can explain to us how those 4 states changed their laws through the state legislator and not through officials, then I'll say you're right. But if those states change their laws with these universal mail-in balloting through the state legislator and not through officials, then you're correct. If it was through state officials and not the legislator, you're wrong. Facebook blocked me. I said C.A. Johnson should be hung. You know what? We'll pretend you're talking about having that long dick. And we'll say maybe he has a tiny dick. But I like that also. But you must understand this. Know your enemy, okay? Know your enemy. We are fighting a subversion. We are fighting misinformation, okay? We are fighting a propaganda campaign. The world that most of these people, like Brutally Honest here, exists in, okay, very tiny. Very tiny. But the world that Brutally Honest and the people like him exist in is not reality, okay? He believes that Joe Biden won an election, and for some reason he thinks that the Supreme Court is going to throw this case out, okay? Despite the fact that this is, I mean, even the response from Pennsylvania, and by the way, the Pennsylvania state legislator is on the Texas side, but even the response from Pennsylvania even goes on to say, in plain English, they don't deny it. They don't say that what they did was legal and lawful. they're talking about baseless claims again when the stuff that's being claimed is not baseless. It's the reality of what happened. It's not even anything that warrants an investigation. I mean, it's obvious. There are records on file, government records to show that these laws were not passed by state legislators. They were passed by officials during election season, which is unconstitutional. And it's really that simple. So everything he says from now on that's just completely disacknowledging that, I'm going to disacknowledge because it's getting me too off track by repeating the same thing for his sake. Brutally honest, I love you, but get with the program. Unless you could tell me, you have one opportunity. The next thing you tell me is how those 4 states had constitutional elections because all laws and rules that were passed for their general election for President of the United States went by the rules and the agreements in the Electors Clause of the Constitution by being passed through the state legislators, then let me know that, provide that evidence, and we'll review it. But the reality is, it's not true. It is a stone cold fact that they held unconstitutional elections. Okay, so just understand this, and we're not going to go on too long today because again, I do want to talk about a couple things. We might play some videos, but as far as this goes, understand this: there is no civil war, 0. Okay, there will not be a civil war. There is no outcome that is a civil war. They are convincing you it's a civil war because they don't want you to know that China is your enemy. Okay? They don't want you to understand that China is the enemy in all of this situation. They have spent the past 4 years making you believe that Russia and North Korea are the enemies. Okay? North Korea, as they do have nukes, they do have their little country, but they're not out looking for global expansion. He is like, I'm going to sit here in my country and fuck with my people, and I'm going to be happy about it. China's like, we are looking at taking over the world. And the United States, you're in the way. You're the superpower that we have to get rid of. And they're very open and very clear about that. Okay? Jay says, him and Hunter have chode fights. Winner gets a full pardon. Imagine that. So, yeah, it's just 80 million people in America. No, it's not. So, understand this, too. Something else I want to talk about. So, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jesse Ventura. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the show he had on television called Conspiracy Theory. But I am going to attempt to try something today. No, I'm not, because I can't make it work. We'll try this. We'll see what happens. No, not going to work. Okay, so I have videos. I might have to upload them to YouTube just to be able to play one on the show. I downloaded all 3 seasons of Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura. And this show came out in we're going to say 2010? Maybe before that? Maybe 2009, 2010, 2011, somewhere in that range. It started in 2010. It probably lasted till 2012. And Cargill Vinton, he knows the body. Jesse the Body Ventura. You know, McMahon, I can't believe you have Chico Santana out here. But that's Jesse Ventura. I'm also the governor of Minnesota. And I was a Navy SEAL. I've written multiple books. But yes, 2010, that is when it started. Okay, so when it first came out, there was an episode, and it was entitled Prison Planet on what I downloaded. And Jesse Ventura referred to it in the intro, which I checked yesterday, as the conspiracy theory, the concentration camp conspiracy. And him and Alex Jones go to FEMA camps, and they see tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of caskets that look like buckets the size of bathtubs stacked on top of one another like cups. All right, but big, long, rectangular, just stacked up. And these are at FEMA camps. And all I did is watch the preview, and I haven't seen it in so long, and I was shocked at what I saw. Because this episode, when it took place, they were actually taking this off and deleting this from people's DVRs. This is a real thing. You can Google this. They were deleting this from people's DVRs as it was happening. And when I went and looked and I watched the preview, it talked about total enslavement, FEMA camps, the caskets, and then it talked about a pandemic. And they talked about the CDC getting ready for a pandemic, to unleash a pandemic on this country. And I was shocked, and I said, wow, I haven't seen this in 10 years. That's crazy. I have to watch this on the show one day. So I'm going to upload the video to YouTube. Not today we're going to watch it, obviously. I'm going to share it on my page when I do upload it, so you're free to watch it on your own and not wait for me. But I'm probably going to come on either tomorrow or Sunday to watch this episode live with you guys, because I was fucking blown away. I was like, wait a minute. So you're telling me the one episode that gets removed, we can talk about JFK and 9/11 and aliens and all these other different things, targeted individuals and all this other stuff. But Alex Jones was a guest. We're talking about FEMA camps, and we're talking about a planned pandemic to enslave the United States. And here we are today. I was just shocked, that's all. So let's read some comments here. Did you get the rare FEMA camp one? That's what I'm talking about, Jay. 2010. Just wrote about it above. See, yep, he knows. The Constitution simply states the times, places, and matter of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislative Congress. Can alter this, though. What? No. That's not what happens. It's called the Electors Clause. Look it up. You're wrong. You're genuinely wrong, brutally honest. You are incorrect, my friend. They violated the Constitution. This is not up for debate. That's why Pennsylvania, when they made a response, they didn't say what you're saying. They never said we didn't violate the Constitution. They basically just said, please don't do this. Please don't take this case and don't look into it. Because if you do, you're going to have to rule that we have to actually follow the law. And if they throw the case out of court, that means that the Constitution doesn't have to be followed. And if that's the case scenario, it's going to be real bad. Because if that's the case scenario, what's stopping anyone from doing anything? The Constitution is not the law. But yeah, unfortunately, brutally honest, you're wrong. But I also want to just mention too, as you know, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, I'm live. All the links are in the description. If you guys want to go over and watch on Twitch, check out my Twitch stream. It's literally this, but on Twitch. I've heard the quality was better on Twitch. Who knows? Damn, my quality in the video today is terrible because my lighting sucks. Hold on. Stick with me. You're going to love how this one ends. Little bit better. Little bit better. Little bit better. So, with that being said, now that we've taken care of establishing very firmly that China is your enemy and there will be no civil war, there will only be a war with the United States versus China, and the people who are ideologically subverted in this country that have been victims of the communist subversion over their entire lives and don't know any better and don't question authority and believe what they read and believe what they hear and listen to other people's opinions as if it were fact, those people are going to be tricked into fighting on the side of China. So it is not a civil war. It is the United States versus China and some stupid Americans. I should say manipulated Americans because they're victims. They might be very smart, but they're victims and they don't know to think for themselves. Which, again, I don't know how you can be smart if you don't think for yourself. You can be educated, but you can't be smart. But, so a couple things, though, I want to go over. I'm actually going to play this video from this gentleman if I can find it. So hold on here. We're going to take a look-ski. Okay, so this is who sent it to me. A friend of mine. Probably should have had this queued up beforehand. Okay, ready? This is the gentleman that says it. We're going to take a look.
The Democrats are complicit in the attempted overthrow of the United States using a foreign army, the People's Republic of China, who is on our borders, in our towns, in the bunkers, in the United States. And we had the first shot of World War III literally fired, and nobody knows about it, and everybody's clueless because there's a complete blackout on the news. So here we go. Take a deep breath, Steve. Okay. Chinese military troops are making incursions into the U.S. F-16 shot down by the Chinese troops. Pilot taken hostage. The U.S. dropped a 30,000-pound bunker buster bomb, killing 50,000 Chinese troops in the underground facility in Robinson, Maine. There's two events that took place, one in Maine and one in Michigan.
Florida, we can see you, bud. You're on the screen.
There were over 750,000 troops within the United States secreted in different bases. Now, listen, the F-16 that went down in Michigan was not an accident. As the Chinese are basically using high-energy weapons, the background I got from my military guy was that the plane was cut in half, literally cut in half. So what people have got to understand is this. We are in, right now, a battle with Red China. I was also told, and this is for the record, the December 10th, interesting, isn't it? I was also told of a foiled attempt to recommemorate Pearl Harbor using nuclear missiles off of Chinese boomers that was foiled. As a matter of fact, I believe at least one, if not two of their boomers, nuclear subs, went to the deep blue sea. Doug, we have to have a reality check. This isn't fighting for an argument. This isn't fighting for just to be heard. All those things are important. We're fighting for freedom and the literal death of hundreds of millions of Americans. It should piss off everybody. I'm pissed off. It should piss off everybody that the Chinese are already in record as saying they're going to kill every man, woman, and child in the United States. That's by their own words, and I'll send it to Eric. He can put it up. General Hao Xian.
General Hao Xian. Now, as far as the evidence of when this happened, we have this. Wisconsin pilot whose plane was crashed in UP dies December 10th. Okay. And as far as their base that was blown up, December 9th. So I don't know exactly when this happened, but in Maine near the Canadian border. It's certainly, I'm not saying this is 100% accurate. I just wanted to share that information with you guys because who knows? But I can tell you this, it's not going to be shared on the mainstream media. They're not going to be having this discussion with you. Florida 32 ounce. Your comments are on the screen, bud. You should be able to see them, hopefully. If anyone's making comments and you can't see it on the screen, go to a different platform and try. And if that doesn't work, People's Republic of YouTube. This platform has recently been purchased by Huawei. Therefore, this live stream is no longer accepted on our platform. That is amazing. I can only imagine who you are. If I'm actually off of YouTube, somebody send a comment from Facebook and let me know that. I'm live on Twitch and live on Facebook too, bud, so you're not stopping me today. Even though I don't believe it anyways. I believe it was just someone who cleverly changed their name, or you're actually found me somehow, because if you notice, I stopped using fucking hashtags to name my videos, because you know what I found out? When I don't do that, people can find them. So I apologize for making all my videos with hashtag titles, because you can't fucking search for it. You can't search for it. It doesn't work when you search for Friday Live at 5 on YouTube. So I might have to go back and retroactively change them. Probably not going to happen, though. But, yeah, this is real. What I also want to do now for you is, again, it's a joke. Oh, there we go. Good. Oh, I like it. Okay, People's Republic of YouTube. Hey, bud, with a name like that, yeah, I didn't think you were serious, but it made me think you were one of my buddies who changed their name. I just didn't realize that you happen to have the perfect name to make that joke. But I haven't done this in a few hours now, so we're about to learn some new information. Because whenever you go on the Donald, there's new information. Facebook just jackbooted OAM paid 24/7 live stream. At this time, Facebook is no longer allowing One America News to live stream our 24/7 broadcast via fan subscriptions. All payments have been canceled. We encourage you to subscribe for uncensored access to our network on Cloud TV. I might have to go ahead and do that because I like OAN and my cable provider doesn't carry them. As you can see, our sidebar here on the Donald, we won by, what do you think it's going to say when I scroll down? You know what it's going to say. A lot. Italian New Yorker has trouble expressing herself. I can only imagine.
So I'm in the Palisades Mall right now, and it is sad.
Oh, I've seen her before. She's amazing.
Stores closed. It's like, it's a disgrace what they did to these businesses. Palisades Mall, one of the biggest fucking malls around, and the stores are closed. Look at that. Closed. It's dead. It's empty. It's a fucking disgrace. You should all be ashamed of yourselves, you fucking politicians, you commie cunt Cuomo. How what you're doing to all these businesses, Congress, all of you, Pelosi, all of you, shame on you, motherfuckers. We're gonna come for every single one of yous. Watch. Once New York lawsuit pops off, you're gonna be sued all over the place. And good, because you deserve it. Look at these stores. Closed. Everywhere. Fuck you. So I'm in the
She's
Palisades
fucking
Mall
awesome.
right now, and it is
I have no idea who
sad.
this is, but that's the second video I've seen of her just talking mad shit. Oh, Texas replied. Oh, I'm not reading all this. Texas is likely to prevail. That's a fact. I should read all this. I talked about China. Oh, see, oh, here we go. Hold on. Oh, it's brutally honest. Okay, you've changed your name to something even better. There we go. The People's Republic of YouTube. My comments are being censored by YouTube. 3 comments did not go through. This is Orwellian censorship on your stream right now, man. You know what? I'm going to make one of you a mod. So then you can moderate these. I don't know how to take off the moderation. I had an option to not do it. And I said, yeah, because I didn't want people to to spam me with bullshit. And I wish I didn't now. If I could go back in time. Hey, Rudy Giuliani beats CCP virus. I love it. But wait a minute. Where the fuck is my stream? My stream should be the first fucking one. So already I'm shadow banned from seeing my own fucking stream. There we go. Fuck you, huh? Here we go. MAGA or die. Oh, we're showing some comments now. Oh, here we go. Florida, you're getting the mod treatment, bro. Don't make me unmod you. Can moderate your own stuff now, bud. Make sure you let everybody say everything, unless you're sitting here pushing communist propaganda. Joe Blows, let his shit in here too. All right, here we go. So that's taken care of now. But Texas, big deal. And I'm not going to read all this, but it's up. If you go on thedonald.win, thedonald.win. Again, I am not here to be your news. I have said this from the beginning. Unfortunately, if you guys want me to be, I am not Tim Pool. I am not the news. I am not a journalist. I am not here to spoon feed you information. I am here to wake you up and tell you when you are being lied to. And I will do that in plain English. Your job is to prove me wrong, and you will never be able to because I'm on my shit. That is what we need to do. Okay? You need to do your own research. I talked about China. This is Orwellian. Trump won. Thanks for the mod, bud. I like it. So now you can go say whatever you need to say and then just let your own comments go. And if they don't go on the screen, then tell us that also, because I want the comments to go on the screen. But Florida 32 ounce, you are the only person I've trusted with a mod on any of my channels that I don't know in real life. But you're a good dude, and I like the things you've said to me, and you found me naturally the night I put Alex Jones on Tim Pool. And I'm not referencing this to you, but I'm referencing this to everyone. I am not the news. Do your own research. I am not going to spoon feed you information. That is what the media and everything around you in your life, from your schooling to your upbringing to your fucking lifestyle, has conditioned you for. Do the work. Do the work yourself. Look at shit yourself. Look up the Constitution yourself and look up the Electors Clause. Look into what these states have done. I'm not going to spoon feed this shit to you, but I am going to push the Donald on you like it's a fucking sponsor, even though it's not. Jaden Padnode, like the stream. Thank you very much, bud. So I didn't see the value in poetry until I saw this video. I can only imagine.
If, by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools,
John Wayne is here. What's up, bud? That's a motherfucker who loves America.
And risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but are none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
What a beast. My boy. By order of the office of the Donald.Win, the Republic now recognizes the state of New California, who have till now been disenfranchised by the fraud perpetrated in the yellow liberal counties. Look at that. So it's not widespread. It's very localized to these counties. And it's just as overwhelming fraud. Jeffrey Elfstein. Oh my God, can you imagine? I'm going to tell my kids it says Barack Obama. Fuck this bitch, by the way. If you saw what she said, Jesus Christ, it was terrible. I like the new one with the crowds. If you got a link, send it. My comment was, let China come in here and maintain order. I fucking dare them. They're in Canada right now, invited by Trudeau to do cold weather military exercises. Exactly. North of our border, which is not good. Trump is smarter than all these lefties combined. Very true, Joe. Trump and the military intelligence, guys like General Flynn, General McInerney, and thousands of others that we aren't even aware of. So, again, if you want to really see something interesting, I haven't watched this on purpose. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't know where it is, and I'm not going to sit there and put all my messages on blast for the sake of other people that aren't me, because I really don't give a fuck about anything I say. But someone sent me an excellent video, and I'm going to get it pulled up. Really phenomenal video. By the way, Debo died. The human wrecking machine Zeus. Isn't that fucked up? Tiny Lister, one of my favorites. Wrestled Hulk Hogan in the main event of SummerSlam. Damn it, I don't know exactly who sent me this video, but I posted it on my Facebook because it was really fucking good. Okay, we can come look, but we can come look again. We're gonna get you guys back. We're gonna get you back. Thanks for sticking with us. This is a crazy video. Not crazy, but I mean it's the real deal. My fucking dogs are so annoying. Tiny Lister. I don't post too much. All right, everyone, what's worse? Answer in the comments. What's worse? Being a registered sex offender or being a registered Democrat. Let's hear your opinions. Yes, Zeus on SummerSlam, the human wrecking machine. Ah! Hulk Hogan! Zeus was the shit. When I was a kid, Zeus was terrifying. Nick Grout is like the stream. Thank you, Nick. When I was a kid, Zeus was terrifying. Then I watched Friday, and he got even scarier. And then I met him in person, and I didn't even want to approach him. Okay. So I believe I shared this. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Here it is. Okay. Pay attention to every word this man says for the next 8 minutes.
About 3 years ago, a group of generals came to me, and it was explained to me they were ready to conduct a coup d'etat. They were ready to move Barack Obama from office with military force. And then a few weeks later, I got another call and said that they were reconsidering.
And I just want to say, I've actually had this conversation on this very show about how Trump didn't just wake up one morning and say, I want to become the president. That didn't happen. But Trump is an info warrior, for lack of a better term. He's someone who has his eyes very open. He was actually a member of the elite. That's why he was all over television. He's been able to make billions and billions of dollars because he was in their little club. He left their club and he's fighting for America. And it was because of exactly what he's about to say.
You know why they were reconsidering? Because they talked to Donald Trump. And Trump agreed that he would run. And they agreed that if he would run, they would conduct their coup d'etat as a legitimate process, rooting out the traitors within government. And that pact between the military and Donald Trump has held. As we've been interpreting and watching, and Alex has been following QAnon, QAnon is military intelligence and close to Trump. And the intelligence we're getting really is a lot of the inside script. Now, everybody says Donald Trump is going to lose. He's going to be out of office. He's going to...
Two things. One, I don't know who this guy is. First of all, I'm sure we can find out. And two, I don't know what that cut was. I will never forget Saturday night's main event, Zeus entrance. Yes, Hogan and the Boss Man in the steel cage. And Zeus was standing there blocking Hogan from coming in. I remember it well. But, hold on, he's talking about the election.
Going to be impeached. You watch CNN, MSNBC, they're throwing a party today. And all the 20 people watching them across the nation are very enthused. Donald Trump will not be removed from office. He will not be removed from office. And in the counterattack he's going to launch, one or two facts that could change everything. Get a report from Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General, who details the corruption within the Department of Justice. Donald Trump is right. Maybe we should tear down the FBI building and start over again. And if you take a look at the depth of this corruption, it's pervasive since George H.W. Bush. The bureaucrats who have stayed, including these SES bureaucrats who are there mostly permanently, they're globalists. They don't believe in America anymore. They think they're smarter than America, smarter than the Founding Fathers. We ought to revise the Constitution. They are, there's a very simple word that describes what they are.
Traitor.
Traitors.
I didn't even watch this yet.
It's a capital crime.
I just watched the beginning.
And I want to predict to you here today that when the tables turn, Donald Trump will be invoking military tribunals. And even Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama are going to be facing treason charges.
This was years ago. I just want to point out, not years ago, I think at the beginning of the year when they were talking about impeachment.
It will not end, and Donald Trump will have the courage to do that. Every time it looks to me, I've said this about Donald Trump, I've known him for decades. I said, Donald Trump always looks like he's going to lose until just before he wins.
It's a fact.
Always. He's always looking like he's 1 inch from being, losing all his money. 1 inch from losing this deal or that deal. Everything Donald Trump has done in his life has been a success. And in the final game of this, I think Donald Trump will reduce the bureaucracy. I'd say 95% would be good, maybe 100%. Because the bureaucracy isn't specified in the Constitution.
When he says bureaucracy, if you don't understand, he's referring to unelected officials that make policy or that control anything. We should be electing almost all of our officials.
There's no discussion. There's no article about the bureaucracy, which means it can all be removed. Fire them all. And I think what we can have is a rebirth, as we say, of freedom in this country. But I want to say 2 or 3 things about Zuckerberg. Someone has come forth as a Silicon Valley insider, anonymous, and has been writing me extensive emails, which I've now been able to validate. And the story of Zuckerberg and the others is this. Facebook, all of the major ones, Twitter, YouTube, Google, every single one of them is a creation of the CIA.
Obviously.
They were funded by the CIA, and they were there. And by the way, they are all considered dispensable. Zuckerberg may not realize it, but he's in the ejection seat. And the button will be pushed and he'll be ejected out. But the real power in Silicon Valley is the infrastructure of the internet. It's the Oracles. It's the Microsofts, the Sun Microsoft systems. These are the tracks, the railroad tracks on which the internet runs, the bridges, the infrastructure. And the people who are really controlling Silicon Valley are the Larry Ellisons. These are the people you know less about because they're not the front men. Zuckerberg is dispensable. Eric Schmidt is dispensable. Google is dispensable. They'll just replace it with another one because the real godfathers are the Larry Ellisons and the others. And who funded Larry Ellison? The CIA, the military-industrial complex, moving in with Lockheed and the others wanting the creation of a new generation of electronic hardware for the military. And in the process, and that started going back into the 50s. What happened is along the way, they realized with social media, they could create something where we would all give them all of our information freely about everything about ourselves. People even post pictures of themselves naked.
It's true.
Which they keep forever. Every click you make is going right into the intelligence agencies. And then that data is being profiled and given to the New World Order. Sold for money, for advertising and marketing. And by the way, Zuckerberg may have his own rules and we're going to protect privacy, but don't for a minute think that they aren't still collecting the information.
Of course they are.
They've got it all. It's archived. It's every phone call you've ever made, every email you've ever made. And people are stupid enough to put these devices in their homes, which can record everything they say. Facebook can track you even if you're not a member of Facebook. They can all do all the tracking anywhere you appear on the internet, and that stuff is archived forever. What we've got to do is we've got to reclaim the internet. We've got to have an internet Bill of Rights, as it were, to impose First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment. We've got to do this through Congress, and I'm here to tell you that before Donald Trump is done, the internet will be 100% regulated, or it will be broken up. Because Donald Trump understands the threat to our freedom. He The threat to our freedom every one of us face with this information is so massive control that never occurred to George Orwell or Aldous Huxley that this could happen. But I'm here to say that in conclusion of all this, the same conclusion in the book I've just written, in Killing the Deep State, it ends, in the end, Donald Trump wins. And never forget that in the end, God wins. Thank you.
Will.
And people, there you have it. Exactly what I've been saying. In the end, Trump wins, which we all know. Rudy volunteers to be special prosecutor and has evidence to bring an indictment against Joe Biden by Inauguration Day. Oh, shit.
Good enough. You're saying right now you volunteer to be special prosecutor. And if you were appointed special prosecutor before the 20th of January, noon on the 20th, in front of a grand jury, you're confident that you could bring an indictment about their compromise by the Chinese Communist Party and taking money from the CCP. That is correct. That's what you're saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm quite confident I could bring the Ukraine case. That one I have 22 witnesses. And I have tape recordings. I mean, the Ukraine case is 100% made case for which I was tortured, pilloried, threatened with disbarment, threatened with prosecution.
This is why people love you, Mayor, because they understand you're a honey badger, you're relentless. They don't care. You don't care how you mock. You don't care how you ridicule.
I'm very, very sad about this, Steve. This isn't something that I'm happy about. To see something like this happening to the presidency of the United States gets you close to wanting to cry.
It's true.
I mean, I never thought I'd see a day in which somebody like this would be stepping into the White House, where I would possess in my records the evidence that shows that he's been a career criminal.
Mayor, I know you've got to bounce. And you've got to take care of yourself, Mayor. The entire world needs you. So we got to keep you healthy. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Short commercial break. We're going to return in a second.
People, it's happening. You must understand. So it is written, so it shall come to pass. These people are fucked. Ted Cruz, uh-oh. Not the B. Genius. These code breakers just cracked the Zodiac Killer's infamous 340 cipher 51 years after it was first published. Oh my God. Uh-oh, because everybody jokes that he's the Zodiac Killer. I don't think he's the Zodiac Killer, obviously. However, I'm interested in seeing what it said. Here's what the original cipher... Okay. I hope you're having lots of fun trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise. So they are afraid of death. I am not afraid because I know my new life is... I know that my new life is... Life will be easy, one in paradise death. Life will be an easy one in paradise death. Okay. Does not prove that Ted Cruz is the Zodiac Killer. I don't know where that joke comes from. I just find it funny. But... Oh, look, Democrats want to pack with 26 judges. They want to pack the Supreme Court. Trump retweet. Joe Biden will not step foot in the White House. 170,000 votes in Michigan have just been discovered not to have a trace to a registered voter in Michigan. That means 170,000 votes that don't have a person's name attached to it. Think about that. Think about that. Come on now. Come on now. Someone's going to end up killed soon. Unfortunately, although I think it's going to be, I know that eventually we're going to have people killed after a few military tribunals, which is going to be a lot of fun to see happen publicly. Today I turned 44, looking for points, not going to lie. Keep up the fight, Pedes. This Dutch Canadian isn't letting up. Freedom ain't free. Keep up, hold the line. I'm not going to read every post from the Donald. But I'm going to go to Rising and see if anything new is happening right now. Everybody dies. Musk says neither he nor his family will take COVID vaccine, but blast Bill Gates as knucklehead. Gotta love that. Comments under Biden's live stream. YouTube is deleting honest comments and adjusting their dislikes. There were way more dislikes than comments before. Make your comment, come back in an hour, and your comment will be gone. Check with another account and you will see they're hiding your comments from the world. This is not live. Watch the splice 2 seconds after this. Probably others too. Please stand while they pump Joe full of drugs so we can both be coherent for 63 seconds. Hillary winning the elections would be more believable than him at this point. She kind of had a base. She did have some base. Women liked her. Prepare for prison time. Biden's new economic plan released. 10% for the big guy. But yeah, man, this is what's happening. It's etched in stone, people. We are going to win. China will not win. Not when shit like this is coming out. NHS commercial terrifies children by showing Santa dying of COVID. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Gorsuch already had harsh words prior to the election about making changes without going through proper channels regardless of the pandemic. This was already written by Justice Neil Gorsuch. Our oath to uphold the Constitution is tested by hard times, not easy ones. And succumbing to the temptation to sidestep the usual constitutional rules is never costless. It does damage to faith in the written Constitution as law, to the power of people to oversee their own government, and to the authority of legislators. For the more we assume their duties, the less incentive they have to discharge them. Last-minute changes to long-standing election rules risk other problems too, inviting confusion and chaos to eroding public confidence in electoral outcomes. No one doubts that a nation conducting a national election amid a pandemic poses serious challenges, but none of that means individual judges may improvise with their own election rules in place of the people's representatives, in place of those the people's representatives have adopted. This is what a person who loves the Constitution thinks. This is what a person who loves America thinks. This is what the normal thing to think about the election is. Normal human beings feel this way. Don't do things against the Constitution. Okay? Crazy people say this has to do with voter fraud when this is clearly an example of a fraudulent election, an unconstitutional election. That's why I'm making sure I'm using the correct words, talking about a war with China and an unconstitutional election. It was a coup to steal our presidency for China, steal our country right from under our noses by putting a Chinese agent, installing him as president against the will of the American people. That is what has happened here. But not anymore. Because now we have the right thing. 20 states. 20 states, people! Suing 4 others and a bunch of others that are standing behind them. Oh my God. Shitting on voters. Texas. Publicly disavowing the lawsuit. Here's my phone number. Gotta love public numbers. House Democrats to seat any Republicans. Oh yeah, they're trying to not seat Republicans that are going along with the lawsuit. They're terrified of the lawsuit because they know it's the truth. Sound gone. Nick Grout got it back. Someone's going to end up killed soon. Okay, so we got the sound back. You're all listening, but this is what's going on, people. This is the actual reality. I'm reporting to you here. I know it's tough sometimes to tell the difference between the alternate reality and the actual reality. Even many people that are aware that the actual reality exists don't completely understand what's going on in the actual reality. Some are too far off into a different reality. Others are still too influenced by the alternate reality. But I truly, truly believe if I had a superpower, it's having a fucking bullshit sensor that is through the roof and having a really good understanding of what is going on in the actual reality. Okay? The best place to go for information in the actual reality is the Donald.win. And when you see a piece of information, okay, Kaylee, Pennsylvania absurdly calls Texas for seditious. You want to see what more people have to say? You go into the comments. This will come up. You might get a link to a video sometimes if it's something someone said on a video and it's being quoted by. Some of these are just pictures. Some of these are amazing screenshots. Evidence suggests that Mr. Biden did not win legally, and Michigan admits it cannot confirm or deny the lawful winner. The same is true for defendant states because the ballots are commingled. I almost said a word I would be embarrassed to say out loud. For those of you who are our soldiers, be in order. Make them pay. This is the resistance, folks. It's just these guys, China, the mainstream media, all the corporations, the sports organizations, the radio, Hollywood. It's the resistance against us little conservatives who love freedom and Donald Trump. Can you believe it? They still live. They still live. Oh, here we go. He knows the election was stolen. Vaccinate him. You guys know me with the they live memes. My dream one day would be to play that movie on this show and do a watch along with you guys, but I could never air it anywhere. I would have to go on a place like DLive, which I'm looking into, by the way. DLive is a platform where people can stream completely uncensored. So I realized that there is an issue with YouTube, and we're going to see where this issue goes. I haven't mentioned the W spread of voter F that altered the R's of the 2020 presidential EL. So because I haven't said that line, I've specifically been using other words and been using other terminology, which is actually more accurate. Even though there was widespread voter F in the 2020 presidential EL. And it was done by fraudulent voting machines that are being altered, weighted, and we could get into those videos, but we can do that at a different time. I also have a couple of announcements. I talked to a good buddy of mine. I shouldn't say good buddy of mine, but a buddy of mine who I like very much. Also a goer of the Donald. His name is Nick. He works in academia, and he agreed to be a guest on the show. And when we have him on, I don't know if it's going to be on a Friday at 5. I don't know if it's going to be on a special edition on like a Saturday or Sunday. But he is going to have some amazing conversations of what it's like to have conservative views, conservative opinions, and conservative values when working for one of the top education establishments in the country. I don't know what I would call a school. University, I guess, is what it is. It's one of the top universities. But I really want to say, I don't know if it's a university. It's one of the top, secondary education establishments in the country. And he had a few crazy ones he told me just publicly on Facebook. I can only imagine what he'd share with me privately, and even more so, I can only imagine what he's going to share on the show when he has the ability to just speak freely. So it's truly going to be something great to watch. I can assure you of this, once we figure out a date, I'll promote the hell out of it because I know I'm going to be excited for it. But ladies and gents, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you knowing your enemy. There is no civil war. People, do not let people tell you that. If conservatives, again, if for some reason, I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say, I'm not going to talk about, someone going to end up killed soon, sound is going, okay. I'm not going to talk about the quote-unquote nuclear option as far as anything more than Trump will have martial law and there will be military tribunals. And guess what? Time is ticking. We're only going closer to January 20th. You heard Rudy say that he could have an indictment. It's getting interesting, people. It's getting interesting, for sure. You can't deny it's getting interesting. And, we just have to, us as Americans, we have to keep our heads on straight. We have to stay away from the bullshit. Stop believing nonsense. Everything I'm telling you here today, this is where reality stands. Reality stands with the words I'm telling you today. Okay? Biden is not the president. He will not be the president. There is a lawsuit that is in place with 20 states, really one state suing 4 states, with I believe 6 other states that are looking to join the lawsuit as a plaintiff, and another 13 states that have signed on to basically stand by on the sidelines and say, we're not part of the lawsuit, but we're literally here to support you. We're like your cheering section. If you need help for anything, we'll help you. Versus 3 other states, and this lawsuit is completely valid. This lawsuit is not only valid, but what's being stated is accurate beyond a shadow of a doubt. There's literally a 0% chance that it's not accurate. Okay? It is, you can read the Constitution yourself and see this. If you listen to the media, you'll have someone tell you that it's not, but then when you see it with your own eyes, you will realize that it is, and that they are lying. So stop believing people that are lying to you. Stop believing anyone that's calling Joe Biden he is Vice President Biden, but stop believing anyone that's calling him the president-elect. It's not true, okay? And furthermore, whatever platform that you're on, subscribe to the channel. If it's YouTube, subscribe. Hit the like, thumbs up the video. I don't ever say that. Thumbs up the video for me. Hit the bell so you get notifications. Maybe I'll go live. But to be honest with you, I kind of want to just play Cyberpunk 2077. So I don't know if you guys got yourself Cyberpunk. I kind of want to play some. I haven't really because of this show. I don't do much else other than research and think and try to prepare for this and be informed. I don't really come on here with an agenda that I think of any more than what's going on in the day. Especially in this era, so much can change. You can wake up one day and next thing you know, Texas is suing 3 states and there's 20 states on board. You know, when the day before people were talking about Rudy Giuliani and, fake evidence that was actually real evidence that existed, and then people were saying it didn't exist, and it's like, it's right here, and they're like, there's no evidence. But now we're talking about an unconstitutional election lawsuit being filed by 1 state versus 4 others, and that is enough to overturn the results of the election. And it's legitimate and it's valid, and the judges believe that as well, and there's no way that these judges are going to go into that courtroom and they are going to say that this was a constitutional election. There's no way. The corrupt ones will. Roberts and the Dems might. But there's no way Clarence Thomas is. There's no way Justice Alito will. There's no way Justice Gorsuch will. Or Justice Kavanaugh. Or Justice Barrett. 0% chance. 0%. So understand that. I've never doubted it. People message me every day, hey, he's shaken yet? Any doubts? You still as confident? Of course I'm as fucking confident. Because I already know the end game. Because I paid attention. This entire election process is a sham. This is a military operation. They're trying to pull a coup on our country. They're trying to hijack our country by stealing the presidency, and we caught them. That's what's going on. And everything else is just letting it play out in the media. Because we can't come out and say that yet. We have to prove these things and wake the media. And the same way the media lies to you in a certain way to brainwash you and manipulate you, there is a counterintelligence to that to provide you with the truth in a certain way to wake you up. That's why people tell me to plant seeds. Don't shove things down people's throats. Plant a seed and then let it be. Something will happen in real life and they will remember what you said and it will open their eyes. And I disagree with that because I've definitely woken people up by, again, force. It's like the fight scene in They Live. I've left the glasses on the table and said, put them on one day if you want to put them on, and left. I don't know if they ever put them on. Or if they did, they might not even remember they were my glasses. But it doesn't matter as long as their eyes are open and they can see. But then I've had other people that you have the fight with for 20 minutes, punching and kneeing in the balls and suplexes and the whole 9, trying to put the glasses on them. So it goes both ways, but just understand, everybody, we all love this country. We all love freedom. We're all here for a reason. Just know that nothing you see around you is real. This is a military operation where they got caught trying to steal the presidency of our country. Okay, we're going to the Supreme Court of our country. The Supreme Court of our country is not going to say, yes, a fraudulent election that was unconstitutional will be forced to stand. That sets a precedent, saying that moving forward, the states don't have to follow the Constitution. If they hear the case, which they will, because there is merit to the case, because what is written in it is accurate, you don't dismiss a case that's accurate. If they hear the case, they have to rule in favor of Texas. Is what it is. So be confident, be aware, know the future, be safe, prepare, because again, there is a war with China. It's going to be fought in this country. It's being fought in this country. There will be boots on the ground. China very well may end up arming liberals, okay, and positioning this as a civil war, trying to make you believe that you're fighting liberals, but these liberals are being armed by the Chinese, being trained by the Chinese, being radicalized by the Chinese, being ordered by the communist Chinese, not just by the Chinese, the communist Chinese. The population of China is cool as shit. They don't want this communism. But if they speak out against it, you go to jail or get killed. So the Chinese, cool. The communist Chinese, the Cha-Coms, well, you know, we got these Cha-Coms here trying to take over the presidency of the United States. I don't know if that sounded like a good Alex Jones. I didn't know what to say. But I'm going to head out, you guys. I want to play some Cyberpunk. Doom Eternal, also for the Nintendo Switch. If you have one, hit me back. Maybe we can play some multiplayer. If you guys played Cyberpunk 77, tell me how you feel about it. I started the game and played it at 2 a.m. the night it came out, and I haven't turned it on since. So I can't wait for an opportunity to shut this off and actually get to enjoy it. I enjoy speaking to you guys, but I have to come here and remind you to know your enemy. Spoiler alert. It's China. It's everyone who lies to you. It's the media. It's China. It's politicians who are lying to you. Okay? It is people who are supporting communism and supporting the Chinese. If China likes someone, they are your enemy. If someone here is pro-China, they are your enemy. They are not out for your best interest. They are out for China's best interest. Okay? Just remember that. Stay safe, everybody. This is going to get removed. I have a strong feeling this video is going to get removed. But I'm glad you joined me live, and I hope you shared it. Be safe, everybody.